You own a home in Toronto and thinking of selling your home. Should you sell your home now or? Before I answer the question if you should sell your house now, let's look at the reasons for selling first. If you are relocating due to a new job, then you know the answer. You have to sell now. If you are retiring and wanting to cash out, I say you have options on when to sell unless you need the funds from the sale to buy a house in a warmer destination sooner than later. If you want to move to a new school district, your timing will be dictated by the school year cycle. If you have outgrown your space because of your work from home setup and or expecting another child, then you should move now before things get completely out of control. Let's look at data of where the Toronto real estate market is to give you one more piece of information to help you make a decision. Let's go. Let's take a look at the data to help you decide if you should sell your house or condo now or consider waiting to sometime in the future. This is the data that I track for the city of Toronto. So you'll see here I have three tabs. One is the detached in the 416. Again, this is the city only, not the 905, Mississauga, Milton, all those areas. This is strictly the 416. Semi-detached and then central condos in the city. So let's take a look here. You'll see the direct correlation when the light green line goes up. So this is the months of inventory. As inventory goes up, and you can clearly see in this case, when the Bank of Canada started the interest rate increases in March, a quarter point, then they ended up by 2.25 increase by July. You can see that the market slowed down with respect to more houses sitting on the market. So you can see the supply, the months in inventory, I should say, increased up, and this correlates negatively to the average price. So you can see it was flat in March, April, and then started dipping down in May, June, and July. You can see that decrease in the average price of the house. So right now, at the time of recording this video, we're still going up. We'll have to see what the Bank of Canada is doing. Now, also keep in mind, July, August are 2 months where a lot of people take holidays, vacations, and this summer of 2022 is pretty much, I would say, the first summer since 2020 or since 2019 where, you know, people are taking vacations, getting on airplanes, going to the cottages, a little bit of a more normal vacation summer cycle in the economy. So that plays a factor too. So you got the increased interest rates, number one, which has been aggressive, and at the same time, people go on holidays. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in September and October as people come back to work and schools start after Labor Day. So right now you can see the detached, we're going down. So if you're looking to sell, you know, you might want to consider taking advantage now because, you know, you're chasing the market down. But again, we'll see what happens in the when the fall market, you know, comes around. The trend is pretty similar in the semi-detached. So you can see again, around April timeframe, the months of inventory has increased and the average price of semi-detached has come down. So until this flattens out and starts coming down, so if I jump back, you know, to earlier periods, let's look, you know, for example here, where you can see the months of inventory dropped and you can see the spike in the average price. So this is what things that I look for when deciding with respect to, you know, what's a good time, what's not a good time. And then obviously you got to look at your specific pocket because every neighborhood does function differently. So right now, the semi-detached, same trend as the detached, the months of inventory is increasing and the average price is coming down. With respect to condos, so this is central Toronto. So this is not looking at Scarborough. This is not looking at Etobicoke West, Kipling by the subway line. This is strictly the central Toronto core condo markets. And again, you can see the months of inventory has been going up, you know, not as aggressive as the semi-detached or the detached, but definitely going up. and then you can see that the average price is slightly coming down. Now, one thing to consider, keep in mind, is you also have to look at the mix of what's being sold. So what I mean, for example, here, if you can see the average price coming down, it doesn't tell the full story, because if less houses being traded at 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, 2.5 million, but more are being traded and sold at $1 million, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, because there's a larger mix of sales in the lower price point, if you want to call it that, 1.2, 1.3, that will bring the average down. So this is more of a macro level perspective to give you an idea what's happening overall in the market, but it's also good to dig deeper and to see what price point is selling and what's happening in that specific pocket. And this is applicable, same thing for semi-detached, for condos. You got to break it down. So is the average coming down because more 1-bedrooms are being sold and less 2+ dens, 3 bedrooms, which aren't that many, but we got to look at the mix of what's being sold, which impacts the average price. Now, one data that I look at to help answer that question is the median price, and this is a good indicator of what's happening in the market. So for example, here in the condo market, if you look at let's look at it since 2022. So the median was in January was 729, it went up to 770, 780 in March, and then when the Bank of Canada increased rates, you can see 760 start dipping down, 745, 720, 720. So you can see the drop by about $60,000 from March to July. So this is a good indicator of the median, which is the middle figure of what's being traded, what's being sold in the current condo market in central Toronto. But you can see the average is a bit high. Hope you have found the analysis helpful in making your decision and it wasn't numbers overload. Feel free to reach out if you are thinking of selling your house or condo in Toronto. I'd be more than happy to help. If you found this video informative, check out how to choose the best offer when selling your home. And until next time, happy home hunting.